Sorry, guys, I'm just forgot to do something. Right. So, good evening, everybody. How are we all? This is episode. I keep calling it issue. This is episode 2 of the tractor, and here to help me at the moment is Fleetwood J. Hello.
Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's well. Just a quick little update on Sparkles. Sparkles is doing well. Driving us absolutely potty because she can't have a wheel for another week. So,
you
one mega peed off hamster at the moment. But she's doing well. I mean, the vets today checked her over and it's all scabbing up nicely. So, hopefully, in another 10 days, she can have a wheel back.
That's really good. Sorry, I've just I've had my little tablet for ages. And I just come up with the idea, I could rewatch. Rather than trying to watch it on the computer, I can actually watch it on the tablet. Because I don't use the tablet to actually watch it. I just use it as a monitor just to make sure everything's running okay. Yeah. Right, so today, apologies again. There's not going to be a massive amount to do, but we will need this week. Now, I will say all of my wiring and electronics, there are alternative ways to do it. What I've tried to do is use the equipment as recommended by Chris, the author. I will explain the alternate ways, and I will try to sort of explain as many different ways. I am aware there's people out there that can't solder. So although I'm going to use my solder iron, we'll look at ways maybe you can do it solderless. Solderless will never be quite as good as soldered. And we'll look at alternate connections. But for the purposes of the video, I will do it using the raw equipment that we've been given. Mm-hmm. So this evening's winner for first comment is Dave Mill, who says, "Hi, everyone. How are you?" So no work tonight, then, I take it. Next, we've got Chris Campbelling. Hi, everyone. Chris Campbelling says, "Good to hear." That was about Sparkles, obviously. James Hubrady says, "Evening." There's a background noise. Is that you or is that me, Fleetwood? Right. Can you do me a favour, Fleetwood? Just for about 5 seconds, can you mute your microphone? Saying that the echo's gone. So that's right, you can unmute it now. I think it's okay. Yeah, okay. I don't know what it was. Anyway, Dave Mill says, good. Get well soon, Sparkles. Chris Campling says, might show off our 4 little monsters, our gerbils. Love to see them if we can. And Dave Bassett says, evening Fleetwood and Penny Fleetwood. Nice to hear Sparkles is on the mend. Now, Dave say may be joining us later on, but he's got obviously a personal life, and he's not able to make it at the start of the show. So, right, should we do all the boring bits first?
Go on then.
Get them over and done with. So, as an update for the printing, it turns out I've actually made some what they call G-code files, and it means that rather than creating when I went through Cura last week, I was able to I set all the files up. What I've done is I've made all these files and saved them to a hard drive, and that just means that if I want to reprint anything, I just go bang and just print it. I haven't got to create it. And what that means is that I've been printing files now for Fleetwood and Adrian. Let me show you this. This is probably hard to understand, but Chrome tab. Right, I've added a page to the spreadsheet. This is a tab called Print Progress. This is for my benefit. And it's all the prints that I've done for people. And in 1 week, every single one of those boxes is complete. And and the ones in red are the ones telling me which ones I'm printing at the moment. And if you look at all those file names, I know they'll be hard to see, but have a look at the spreadsheet if you want. The file names are stage numbers, the color that I use, and the time taken. Now, when you consider that some of those files, like for example, stage 3.1, that's a 19-hour, 47-minute print, and I've completed one of those. And it's so basically what I'm saying there is that I can't do everybody's at once, but I think I can print 4 other people if they want to do the project. You will initially start a little bit behind, but then saying that, we've done like this, for example. We did this in a 2-hour stream, obviously, but if you just got there and cracked on with it, you could probably do this in 10-15 minutes. So if you ask me to print things off for you, say in week 10, I'm pretty confident that within a day you'll be caught up. So what I'm going to say is, if anybody wants me to print things off for them, there's 2 ways I can do it. Let me do that screen share again. Right, there's 2 ways I can do it. One is you send me the filament and I will just print. The other way is where I've got parts listed. Where are we? Right. So these parts, I've put the estimated cost. I can just charge you that much for each of those prints, and then we'll do a charge on a week by week basis, or and I'll print as much as you want or as little as you want. You might want to say to me, "Oh, Penny, can you print?" And my budget is 10 quid a week. And then what I'll do is I'll say, right, fine, yeah, I'll do your 10's worth of prints every week. Whatever happens, I will ask you to cover the cost of the postage. And we've just had a 3rd person join the stream. It's Dave Say.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Hello.
Do you want me to repeat the last bit, Dave?
No, you're all right.
Okay. So yeah, if anybody does want me to print the bits off for them, drop me a message. I believe my email, which is routemaster@gmail.com, is in the description, as is the Facebook group, and also my Facebook page if you want to contact me. Now, talking of Facebook, I received an absolutely lovely message today. I will read you what the message says. I don't agree 100% with it, but it came from, please forgive me if I pronounce it wrong, I think it's a Greek name, Alex Demetriadis, Demetriadis, something like that. I'm sorry, I'm really bad. And this is what he says. Penny, I have seen all your live streams with Horlicks, Dave Say, Adrian Langley and Fleetwood J, and those guys are great and helpful with their advice. But you, Penny, slightly shine a little more than them. That's really, no, I disagree with that.
No, I agree with it.
We agree, Queen Penny.
Yeah.
You're so helpful and serious about everything you do step by step. Please mention me in your next live stream, even if it's once. I'm Alex the Greek from Whalley Range, Manchester. No, I don't agree fully with it. I agree that everyone is great in their own way. We all do the basics equally well, and then from there we have a certain skill set. I can do modifications, but to be honest with you, if you've got anything to do with mods, I'd say go to Fleetwood. Technical information and a nice level head, you want to go to Dave Say. If you want things done nice and neat and tidy, Horlicks is your man.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So yeah, we all have our skills.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, Penny, if it wasn't for you or Alex doing the Routemaster show, there wouldn't be me, there wouldn't be Dave Say, there wouldn't be Adrian, there wouldn't be Chris Davies. So at the end of the day, you need a pat on the back, and so does Horlicks to say,
okay,
you're transferring us on, then that helps you build your show and your streams.
That's true.
Chris Campbelling for craziness goes to him, he says. Listen, I'm going to agree with you because I don't want to argue for 2 hours on the stream over who's the best. But my opinion on that is that I'm really just a catalyst. I think, someone else could have stepped in and started things off. But I do think it's quite amazing that the only reason I'm live building on YouTube is because there was a problem with Twitch. Twitch, which is a different streaming platform. On that particular day that I wanted to stream, there was a problem, and out of desperation to get this, because obviously I was doing the pre-recorded videos for the Friday, out of desperation to get the build done, I broadcast to YouTube, and bang, here we are today. So if you want to give anyone credit, blame the someone useless at Twitch for allowing the platform to go down on that particular night. Right, so boring bits, I'm afraid, but we'll get them over and done with. So this week we're on week 2, parts by week. So what we need this week, do you want me to go through? I won't go through the parts, actually. I will. I'll just show you the parts that I printed off. But I'll also show you that. Let me just write this down. 10, 25, 33. Sorry, I'm not quite as organized as I want it to be. 41, 42, 43. Right, so the parts that we have got on the list, I will confess, Adrian is on holiday because that's why he had no stream. And also, I want to wish him a happy birthday for yesterday. Yep. Was his birthday. I think that's the whole reason why he's gone away.
Yeah.
I hope he had a great birthday. I hope he got drunk. I don't agree with drunkenness too much, but on your birthday, why not? So,
why not, indeed?
Right, so I'm trying to just chat and talk because I've lost the parts. There we are. Right, so the parts that we should have bought ready for this issue. I'm sorry, guys, I'm going to steal the stream.
That's all right.
So we need a DC motor. So this needed to have been ordered a while back. Now this particular, I don't know if all motors are the same, but this one's got a little red dot by the positive terminal. So we'll be able to find out if that is the positive and the negative. This particular one is going to be driving the motor. So if you remember, we saw the differential last week. This will go somewhere like that. And then obviously you've got the other bit of the differential, and then there'll be a connector. Obviously there'll be a housing for the motor. So that will rotate, which will rotate this bit, which will rotate these.
Wow.
And that's going to drive the back wheels. It's not anything special. You could get a faster mower, you could get a higher torque motor or whatever. But for the tractor, I think this is pretty good. Now, this one has cost me £6.27, which I think is one of the most expensive individual electronic components. But obviously, like if you wanted a better one, you could buy a more expensive one, or whatever. The next thing we need are the JST connectors. Now, I've set, when you buy 10, you actually get 20, and you get 10 male connectors and you get 10 female connectors. Now, I could easily make these, but like I said, I bought what's recommended on the project. So there's a lot of work gone into this that we don't now need to do. So what you've got is you've got a connector, and then you've got 2 wires. Now, I found out the other day, JST stands for Japanese Solderless Terminal. I think the T stands for terminal. So what I gather from that is those 2 little pins in there, they're crimped in rather than soldered in. And then as you can see, this end, they have bare wires. So you connect this to whatever you want to connect, like, for example, the motor. And then this one can be connected to the power supply. And then you plug it in. The male goes into the male. And obviously you need to make sure they're the correct way around. So red at the top, red at the top. And then that will connect those two bits. And that's all they are. And they're not very expensive. In fact, mine cost £4 for 10. You could probably get that price down to, with the connectors and the wire, probably £1 for 10. I think that's a fair price.
Yeah.
But that would involve getting a crimper, getting the wire, getting the terminals, crimping them, feeding them through. So although it's about $1/4 of the cost, it's probably 4 times the hassle. So if you're on a really, really tight budget and you want to just get your costs down a little bit more, that's going to be the way to go. But for the budget we've set, this is what we've bought, and they're going to be a lot easier.
And for quickness as well, isn't it, as well?
Pardon?
And for quickness as well, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, it now means that all I've got to do now on the stream is go connect this bit, plug them in, done. Otherwise, I've got to go through all the soldering. There will be soldering today, but only to connect the other ends.
Yeah.
To have to make these ends and all sorts. Right, so the next thing we want is 115, the servo reverser. Servo reverser 115. Bear with me, guys. I had things organized and then I got disorganized. So what this basically does is, I have gone through these. I do apologize, but I will go through them again.
That's
so
all right.
Your servos, which you haven't, well, you might have bought them and hopefully you have, but they haven't appeared on the show yet. So what would normally happen is you'd have a plug like this, and on the end you'll have a servo, and the servo will basically go backwards and forwards. So when you go forwards, for example, it might go that way, and when you say backwards, it'll go this way. What you'll do with this is you will plug the servo into there, so the other end here is still the normal servo. Now it reverses the signal. So when you go forwards, instead of going that way, it's going to go that way. And when it goes backwards, instead of going that way, it'll go that way.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is we're going to have 2 servos to, I think it's the rear bit. Yeah, the rear end. And the way they're going to be plugged is, because they're going to be positioned in opposite ways, when they go forwards, they're going to go like that. And then when they go backwards, they'll go like that, for example. So what we'll do is we will reverse the signal on one of them so that when you go forwards, they'll start doing that.
Yeah.
So one is in effect going backwards. Now, I have got a few of these. I believe they're priced individually. They're £1.49, so I would suggest they are priced individually. Let me have a look. I won't be able to show you the page because of the way I've done the screen share, but yeah, it's £1. Well, it's actually now gone down to £1.45 for one. And then the last piece is, I've lost it. Bear with me. Right, a servo Y cable. Now this is going to come in before the reverser. What I said, 116. There we are. Right. So this is called servo Y extension because obviously it will extend it. So what this will do is you'll plug this end where the servo would normally plug, but then at this point here, the wires have been spliced together so that you've now got 2 ends. Wow. So this is where the servo is going to come in. This will be the control end. that will then send, just like if you put, I wouldn't recommend this, guys, but if you wired 2 wires into a 3-pin plug and then plugged it in, you could in theory power 2 separate devices.
Yeah.
When you switch the main switch off, it will disconnect the power from both.
Yeah.
And when you switch on, it will send power to both. So this is exactly the same. So you will plug those in. You'll plug a servo into that one. You'll plug a servo reverser into the other one. And then you'll plug the servo in the other end. And that's basically that. Now, these cost, what they call 116. These cost £2.46. And I'm just double checking how many you get. That's for one. So they're they're £1.20. They're currently £1.20. Yes, so that's £2.40 for 2. So for some reason I put you need 2. I can't remember why at the moment. So that's the parts that we need to have got bought this week. But we actually don't need them this week. The reason we bought them is if we wait until we need all the relevant parts, we will actually go way over budget.
Yeah.
Because they're all going to thread through there. This is going to be the back of the tractor. So there'll be wires coming in to connect things at the back of the tractor. And then obviously you've got the power coming in from the front. So you need the wiring to go all the way along there. I say there, but I can't remember exactly how long it is. So that's that. I'll pop those to one side. So let me show you the parts now that I've printed off ready for this week. I will say I've been a bit, what's the word I'm looking for? In hindsight, I planned a lot of this theoretically. We didn't actually practice the stream because I didn't want to build. I wanted this to be the first build, the first time I've ever done it. So if there's a problem, I want you to discover it on stream. So piece number 10 is not here. Not where it right. So piece 10 is called escape, and that is simply the exhaust pipe that's going to go on to the come out the side of the engine. We did the engine pieces last week, didn't we? The 2 flat bits.
Did you?
I'm sure we did. Let me have a look.
Yeah.
Let me have a look. Yes, we did.
Okay.
Right. So.
Oh yeah, I was thinking about the bonnet. That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah. Right. Found one of them, but I've not found the correct bit.
All right.
Penny,
Hello.
can I steal the screen a minute because somebody wants to say hello?
Oh.
Oh.
Hello.
Oh, look at her.
If I try carefully.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, we're not having any grossness here, no scars or anything.
Come on, Tony.
Yeah.
She looks really well, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's doing really well. She's just getting really cranky because of no wheel, if you know what I mean? So
Yeah, she really needs exercise, doesn't she?
yeah, because the hamster runs about 5 to 10 miles a night.
Is it really that much?
Yeah.
So all she can do then is just run around and around her cage then.
Yeah. That's why I'm not trying to get on my high horse. If you go into Pets at Home, the cages they sell are too tiny. They're illegal.
Yeah.
Really?
Next year, the rules are coming in. A Syrian hamster needs a 4-foot cage.
Okay. So the setup I used to, because I used to have the rotor stack system, but I had all tubes. I put lots of tubes in so they could run around the tubes, but they had wheels and things in them anyway. But I like the idea of having lots of chambers. I don't know how hamsters think, but I imagine that if you get a bit bored of your brother, you want to bog off into a different compartment and just go, yeah. Whereas if you're all cooped up into one big square cage, there's probably going to be loads of fighting and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
With Syrians, you can't have two the same in the cage.
no,
Syrians have got to be
hamsters you could. Apparently, they
Yeah.
thrive better in packs.
packs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Syrians, they'll kill each other.
Yes, I've heard that. Unless they're male and female, and they're that time.
But the female, after mating, tendency to kills the male anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Wow. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So last week we had these parts, which is going to be the side of the engine side of the tractor.
Yeah.
So we've got the battery. So this is actually going to go into there like that. So that will be the exhaust pipe.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, right. Let's see if I can find the rest of the bits. Right. So piece 20 is in a different box. Right. So piece 25 is called the seat, and that's this block there. So you can see it is sort of seat like. We've got 33. These are coming out in no particular order. I think 33 is, I don't really understand what they're for at the moment. I've still got to look at, I think there's something to do with the final assembly. But you've got two versions. You've got one, it's basically these. And you've got, these ones are actually piece 34. No, that's totally wrong. Sorry. Let me have a look at the spreadsheet. Parts list 33. Rare. Oh, yeah, they are. They look very similar to this, but they've got round bits instead of. Sorry, I'll get them out again. Right. So basically, they're exactly the same as this, except that you see, whereas this is hexagonal, it will be round. I believe the hexagonal one I've listed on the spreadsheet as 34 being alternative, but I think you actually want 34 would be better than 33. But we'll worry about that when we get to it. 35 is the rear light base, and 37 is the alternative. They do two kinds, and I think I need to reprint mine, but these are gonna go, I don't know why we need 4 at the moment, I can't remember, but these are going to go on the back, and then there'll be a piece of clear red go over the top. So these will be the rear lights. They don't look that impressive as they are. Once the little red bit goes on, they will look superb, and I've printed them off already, and they are. Sneak preview for you. This one is, oh, can't, it's been stapled, look. These actually been printed for me by Horlicks, but mine came out quite similar anyway. So this is the actual cover for the light brackets, and this will get screwed into the rear fender, and then this goes on top. So now you've got a light, rear light. And we're going to look at modifying this, so we'll actually see if we can put an we'll put an LED in there. I've got some little red LEDs ready. There'll be a little bit of drilling involved, but basically what we're looking at doing is that it won't go in properly because we haven't drilled it out, but we'll pop that LED in, and then obviously that's see-through, so that will actually light up.
What about an SMD?
Pardon?
What about an SMD?
SMD.
Yeah, the flat ones.
Could do. I'm keeping it simple because I know what I'm doing with the simple ones. But maybe perhaps someone can bring that up and we'll look into it. Right. Next piece is piece 41, which is 42, 41, 42, 43. Right, good. I got them in the right order. Right, so 41.
Penny, Adrian's in the house. Hello, Adrian.
Hello, Adrian. How are you? Happy birthday. Did you have a good day? Right, this is piece 41, which is the seat base. And I think that goes on the bottom and that goes on top. Something like that.
Yeah, that looks right.
I think it's something like that.
Yeah.
Again, when we actually come to building, I'll have it figured out. 42 is that. 42, remind me. There was a steering servo holder. I've actually not printed that off. But basically what it is, it's just a it's a C-shaped part, and you screw the servos into it.
Yeah.
And then the last bit. Now I believe I've put 4 on the spreadsheet. Yeah, I've put to print 4 wheel nuts. And what's going to happen when we put the wheels on? These are gonna be screwed in on top to actually keep the wheels in place.
Yeah.
Now I've said to do 4, but I've actually done 10. So you've got 2 for the front wheels. You've got 2 for the back wheels. You'll have 2 for the trailer wheels, because all the trailers use the same wheels. And then that will leave you 4 for the dumper trailer. So it's by having these 6 extra wheel nuts on the print bed, it adds about 10 minutes to the overall print time. So I say you might as well print 10, unless you don't intend to do if you're not doing the trailer, take 2 off. If you're not doing the dumper trailer, take 4 off and just do the 4 or however many.
Yeah.
Obviously I'm going to do everything, so I've got 10 ready. So saves me, if you set all your print up, by the time you've sliced it in Cura, that's half an hour or an hour gone. And for convenience, what I'm going to do is I'm going to chuck all these bits into the same bag, and that saves me losing them later on. So pop these parts aside for later on. So I think that's everything. We've done the electronics. Oh, and we need some screws, which this week we are buying the M3 8mm, which are these ones.
Oh.
So last week we got the 16 mils and the nuts. So there's the 16 mils. And then obviously what we'll do is we'll buy all these screws before we need them. And then they're all ready for us once we've got them. Small bolts and fixings. So M3 nuts. So there's our, oops, I lost my screen. So there's our nuts from last week. This is a 16mm M3 button head. And this is the 8mm that we've got this week. So exactly, it's just a different length. Yeah. Over time, we'll build up a little collection. Right. So the parts we're going to need for this week, we will need this from last week, kind of. We will need our motor mount from last week. Mine's in yellow, but yours can be printed in any color that you want. we will then need the motor, which we've obtained this week.
Yeah.
And we will need 1/2 of a JST connector. Now, obviously we haven't bought the battery and the bits and bobs yet. So what I'm about to show you technically doesn't exist yet. What we want to do is we'll connect this to the motor mount like that, because then it makes it easy. Obviously soldering things on, holding it like this is going to be awkward. If we have to put a mount that, then it gives us something to play with. You know, I could perhaps position it like that.
Yeah.
So we'll do that first. Then we want one of these connectors on the end of the motor, and I'm going to be soldering on a female wire, and this is the reason why. Again, you haven't seen this because we haven't introduced it. We haven't needed to buy it yet. And right, so this will be our battery eventually, and then these are so stiff. This is the connector you get with the battery. So then you've got this lead, which is it converts that connection to one that we're going to use. So that will go into there, and then this will plug into the ESC, and the ESC will have another male coming out of it. So then if we've got that connected to that one, then we can plug the male into the female.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what we'll have to do is, it doesn't matter if you got it the wrong way round, because then all we do is we could, for example, we could make a converter by taking 2 males or 2 females and soldering those together, and that would give us in effect an extension swapper. So yeah, it's just that simple, really. What I'm going to do is I'll get my solder iron ready. We'll need that shortly. So I'm going to switch my...
Mike's gone, Penny.
Yeah.
Your mic's gone.
Oh.
No, Mike, Penny.
Is that better?
Yeah.
That's better.
Probably. That's funny because that went just as I switched my solder iron on. Right, so I've switched my solder iron on there, because it'll take a moment to warm up. So what we're going to do is we will connect this. You see that this motor mount has got 2 holes and then a big hole in the middle. Remember I said about the channel, and the reason for the channel is when we feed the wires through there, it gives them somewhere to feed through, but we're not going to worry about that for now. So what we want to do is, this motor's got 4 holes, but 2 of them have already got screws in them. So what we're going to do, those 2 empty holes there, they are by coincidence M3 threads.
Oh.
What we'll do is we will line that up like that, and you can only penetrate so deep into those holes there. I did try it with a 16 mil, and the 16 mil are way too long. I think the 8 mil work fine. So the 12 mil works fine, but we haven't bought those yet, so technically they don't exist, do they?
Yeah.
So I'm going to use the 8 mil. I think the 8 mil will be fine. So I'm just finding a connector that works, and I'm going lazy. I'm going to use my wow stick, which has just been recently charged up. So if you want to fit, if you feel more comfortable putting a washer in there, that's fine, but I really don't think it's going to need it. We're just going to hold that stiff. So we'll just, I thought that went in a bit too easy. Right, so we'll screw that one in just enough so that it bites. So now that's That's not going to run away. And I've got a stinky smell. Whilst my solder iron. I accidentally switched my solder iron on the other day, and it was leaning on the table, and the next thing I knew, I'd burnt plastic smell.
Oh dear.
So both of those are now in, just enough to bite. And then what we'll do is we will fully screw those in. And I'm just going until the screwdriver stops. So we'll have a check. That, trust me, is not going anywhere. That is absolutely solid. So I'm happy with that. If you want to thread lock that in, you could. So, as you guys all heard of thread lock?
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it a glue for screws. You put a tiny drop on there, and it feels like an oil. And you'll actually get the screw in and out a lot easier. Just put a tiny drop, one tiny drop on there, and then as you screw that in, it will all spread out along all the threads. And then once it goes dry, it sets hard like a glue, but it's strong enough that screw will never fall out, but you can still undo it. It'll be really, really hard, but you can undo it you'll need a manual screwdriver.
Yeah.
I think mine will be okay without. I'm just slightly overlocking that. So you see now I can't undo it with a screwdriver. Not enough to crack plastic, and that is absolutely solid. So we can work with that now. So what I'm going to do then is I need one female connector on the JST cables. Did I say yes, female? So that's this one. And I personally would like to put some heat shrink on the end when I've finished. So I'll need to get the heat shrink beforehand, because if I solder them on, you can see then I won't actually be able to get the heat shrink on.
Yeah.
So heat shrink comes in many guises. I just happen to have a big roll of it. So I'll just cut that much off. That should be enough. And another piece. It really doesn't matter what color you use, but you know, let's go a bit flash and use a bit of red on the red wire and a bit of black on the black wire if you've got it. So we will pop that on there, and now I can see that particular heat shrink is too small. So bear with me. I've got a big tub of some other ones as well somewhere. Well, I'm there actually. Because I'm a bit of a clumsy klutz, I want to use my solder mat. As you see how quickly my desk fills up when I'm working. So I've got a little solder mat, and this is just basically, it's a silicon mat that resists high temperatures. So if I should, for example, do that, you see it's not going to burn through.
Yeah.
Right, so give me a second, guys. Here we are. No, that's not them.
Well, Matthew Gorham, yes, I've heard that the Joker is pretty brutal film, and people have been walking out, and they are traumatized with it. So, not my type of film.
So this is an assortment of heat shrink tubes, which I actually thought would be useless for my purposes. But as you can see, I'm wrong. Right. I may have to use 2 red bits. Don't think that's going to go over. Oh, that'll go. That's really, really tight, but that'll go. Right. So I don't need that much. These are actually different sizes, but because they shrink down, basically what heat shrink tubing is, it's if you've got 2 exposed bits of wires, you put it over there like that. So you'll obviously have another piece on the other side. Imagine these 2 have been soldered together.
Yeah.
And obviously you've got exposed metal, and you know never to have exposed metal, so you just pop that over there, and then when you heat that up either with a blower, I've got a hot air gun, but equally you can use a cigarette lighter, and you just don't know if I got anything I can play with. Well, right, so you can see there it's actually shrunk down.
Yeah.
And that's basically what all it is. That's what happens. And it just seals that exposed bit. So I'm going to cut those probably way more than I need. So I've lost my motor. It's a bright yellow motor, and I've lost it. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Oh, how do I manage that?
Not on the board, is it?
On the what?
On the
Oh,
board.
I've got it.
Oh, there we are.
Right. So I personally would like to just strip that a little bit more, because I don't think there's going to be enough there. Yeah. Right. So right. Can't find my strippers either. So I'm just going to just gently run a knife along there, and I just want to just pull a little bit of that off. This is not the best way to do it. I do apologize, guys. I know there's a few people cringing now, isn't there?
Not at all. So we personally like to do it, isn't it?
Mind you, our granddads probably used to do this with their teeth, didn't they?
Yeah, that's right. That's true.
Right, so there we go. There's a bit more wire exposed there. And same on this side. I'm going to have to put a light on. I'm sorry, guys. I know it'll make it harder to see. Right, there we go. So all I'm going to do, oh, don't forget to put the heat shrink tubing on first. So I'll push that all the way to the bottom until I need it. Obviously you can't see that because I put a black bit on a black wire.
Yeah.
And then that red bit can go on. So the red connector, I'm just going to push that through the hole. Like so. And I'm just going to wind that back. And then I want to wind just a bit of that wire around there just so that it holds on. Once I get the solder on, that will hold that in properly. Just enough so it doesn't fall off, and it's tightly in, so it doesn't actually make the whole joint bigger.
Yeah.
Remember, we want to get the heat shrink over. So these have actually got a tiny touch of solder on the end, which is kept the ends together. It's multiple wires, like lots of little copper wires to make one big thread.
Yeah.
And by having that little bit of solder on the tip, it means that they're not going to spread apart.
Yeah, it's helpful, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'm just twisting that so I can just get that straight, and I'm happy with that. So all I'll do now is find the solder wire that I've gone and lost. There we go. I shouldn't move things really. So I've got my solder iron all twisted. So I'll just make sure that's hot enough, which it isn't.
Oh.
So I'll just turn the solder iron up. Just waiting. I've got a little light to tell me it's warming up, just like an oven or anything else like that.
Yeah.
Just waiting for that light to go out. There we go. That's gone out. So why is that not? That's interesting.
It doesn't appear to be heating up, does it?
No, and that's on the maximum. Oh, there we go. Maybe it hadn't
Right.
quite got warm enough. Right.
Right, it's going now, yeah.
That's fine. So, this is a very bad tinning process.
You may have had a bit of plastic on it from the other day, Penny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is probably bits of table on there.
yeah.
Right. So the correct way to solder, which I'm actually not very good at, is you don't touch the solder with a solder iron. You're supposed to warm the wire and then you come in the other side. But that never works for me, and I end up cheating and getting frustrated. So I end up doing that. It works. I don't care.
I always just tendency to load the tip. You know,
Yeah.
that way.
Just as long as you've got all of the wire. And then what I'll do is I'll chuck a load of solder on. I know if Love Minis is watching this, she will be cringing and probably trying to shout at me.
Yeah, I'd just load the tip as well, Jason.
Right.
Yeah.
What I tend to do is I'll chuck a load of solder on like that.
And then smooth it off.
And then I'll come in with a solder iron again and just flatten it like that. And then I'll just pop a little bit on the bottom. And that's going to roll. So I'll just get two things just to prop that up so it's not going to move. So solder, flatten it, solder, flatten it. Just try and just get that solder roughly the same width as the wire, because then when we put the heat shrink on, it will slide over easily. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
So heat shrink can go up as much as it can, which isn't going to be an awful lot because that's a little bit too thick. Right. And this is not working for me. There we go.
About.
That's on. And then this one probably won't go right over the motor because it is slightly thinner. Okay. There is ways and means. Right. So I should have put a bit of red on both really. So I'll cheat a moment. So air gun on, hot air. My solder iron, it's hot air and it's a solder iron. So all I do is I pick this up, and that's now got hot air coming out of it, which is dead handy. It was only a few quid more than a solder iron, and then all I'll do is I'll run that over there, and that will shrink that heat tubing.
Yeah.
So the only problem I have with this is it's supposed to switch off when you put it in the holder, but it doesn't. In fact, it's not even switching off now. So I actually switch it off by the mains. Right. So I'm happy with that. I'll give it a little. Sorry. So what I'll do is I'll give it a little bit of a test. I'm just going to shake it by the wires, not vigorously, but more than acceptable wear and tear. And I'm happy with that. What I'll do, I'll get a little. Actually, I'll do it now. I'll show you how I can cheat. You shouldn't have to do this because if you do it properly in the first place, this stage won't be needed. But what I'll do is I'll cut a bit of heat shrink off that's too big, and then I will slit it.
Love Minis is in the house.
Yeah, soldering takes time to learn, but you can get a wired stick way before you're good. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I think she's given up shouting at me now. She used to. Well, she honestly, in a good way. I don't mean this badly, because that is way too short. So all I want to do, I mean, the length of that solder joint, there shouldn't be a problem with short circuits. You shouldn't be much touching it. But let's not take chances, shall we?
Yeah.
Let's start as we mean to go on. So don't handle knives like I'm doing it, especially when your knife is blunt. I know I'm going to have a lot of problems. I say this time and time again. When I bought a box of replacement blades, and the price of them is literally pennies per blade. And I could actually afford, without any hassle whatsoever, to replace a blade a week, whether it needs it or not. And I think this last blade I've had for about a month. So this is what I mean. If I'd done it properly in the first place, I wouldn't be doing this now. I think if I actually turn the solder iron on, it would actually get warm. So I'm turning the solder iron down, way down, because it doesn't need a lot of heat to shrink it. And with it being now 200 degrees rather than 500, if I should slip and touch my hand, it's going to give me an extra millisecond.
Yeah.
To not get 3rd-degree burns. Plus, you can imagine, with me being a smoker, I've burnt my hands, and a modeler, I've burnt my hands so many times.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried. But let's go for full on 3rd-degree burns. Okay, let's pretend that worked.
We got sound again.
Yeah, lost sound.
Penny.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely. Right. Okay, so for this stage, that's all we can do. And the reason we can only go this far is because what we need to do next is we need to attach this, but we need to run the wires through. And 2 of the wires that we need to run through is the servos. And we've already busted the budget getting this far. Having servos would just be way too much more. And we can't do the bracket there because, again, we need to buy the bearings. So I'm actually going to stop at this stage. However, what I would suggest is, if you got four of your 16 mil, you will need 16 mil screws, bolts to go in there. So this is what we're left with, and obviously, as you can see, that could get knocked over and lost. So what I want to do is just pop in 4 bolts loosely just to attach that.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I love about this is these little slots there. I'll demonstrate it when I've put the first ones in, and I don't know how well these are going to go in. There's no nuts or anything in there. That just screws straight into the plastic. So these are actually going to cut their way in. The first one's going to be really difficult.
Chris Camplin said, are you going to make sure that the motor still works?
Yes. But I'm going to use connections that you guys won't actually have, because we haven't officially bought them yet. Which is, it kind of makes it awkward. I mean, it's purely up to you guys. If this was like a Harshette part work, that would be the end of that stage, and you would have no way of knowing if they work or not.
No, that's true.
But we can test. So that's it. So I've just bought, I mean, you can go all the way in if you want. And that's as far as that wants to go. I will confess I have screwed these in before, but they only go so far because of the tolerances on the printer. So they're actually sort of cutting their way in a bit. So I mentioned about these holes not actually being holes. When you've got the differential in there, it'll all be connected, and you may actually find that the cogs don't match. Because these are lined, that you can see, I can actually adjust it slightly.
Yeah.
And that's what, yeah, only a little bit.
Yeah.
And I suppose if that's not enough, there's probably a bit of a problem. But you could, I suppose, put a washer in there and just extend that hole there a little bit more.
Yeah.
But right, so you guys want me to do a test. So what I'll do is I will get one of the male connectors. Remember, this is a female connector. So rather than trying to prod things in there, it'll be you. I know for a fact you've got a male because there's the female for it. So we will plug the female in. To make life easier for us, let's get something visible. I'm thinking masking tape. I've got to try and find some first. There we go. I'm just getting the masking tape because then you'll actually see it go round. That with that being small, silver and shiny, you won't actually see anything.
Yeah.
Just make a little flag. So with my variable power supply, I will set that to 9 volts. And the reason I'm going for 9 volts is the battery that we intend to use is this one. Sorry, 7.4 volts. Good job I checked before I plugged it in.
Yeah,
So
true.
you could use the battery if you want. I'll actually use both. So, whoops. Right, so I have set my voltmeter for 7.4 volts exactly. And I will hook positive to the positive and the negative to the negative. And there we go. That is the motor working. So something's gone right then with the soldering, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, and then obviously when this goes into reverse, it will go the opposite way.
Yeah.
So just to check, Chris, because you're the expert with electronics, aren't you? That I think is going clockwise.
Yeah.
Which I believe is correct for a basic motor.
That's clockwise, yeah.
Yeah. Dave Milne has just said those bolts look long. Yes, they do look long, but they are the right length. I think they're the right length. I'm sure they're the right length. So let's keep going. Do you know what? They are too long. They're too long. So thank you, Dave. We would have discovered that at some point. I'm now thinking actually these should be 12 mil, but let's try it with the 8.
I would have said more the 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I have gone too much then. Let's try the 8. So, well, if they are 8 mil, then that means I can get away with the electric screwdriver because those screws would already have drill the thread in. Whoops. But bearing in mind, I don't want to go in tight with them because we are going to have to remove them. There we go. You are right, it's 8mm, and that's holding that really tight with one screw. So yeah, I think the reason I put 16 actually was so you could put the wires in. Right, so we're probably not going to get the wires in there with those fully in. We will have to fully remove them, but by bolting them in, it just means that we're not going to lose this bit. That's one, you know, if it got knocked off the shelf or knocked over, sorry.
Yeah.
And these two will go. Why is that not going? That's interesting, isn't it? That 16 went in absolutely fine, and the 8 isn't. So I don't want them in that much anyway. So I do want them so they're going to move. You know what? I probably should. Right. So my apologies, guys. I do want the 8mm. I've got a feeling it is 12mm actually, but there we go. So obviously each time you screw that screw in, it's going to just cut the thread a little bit. So I would be worried if you're screwing them in, unscrewing them, screwing them in, unscrewing them, that you would lose it. This part is only a couple of hours to reprint, but do you really want to keep reprinting it and that? Right, so you want to test this with a battery now, don't we?
Yeah.
So one battery. We obviously need the converter. I'm calling it a converter plug. I don't know what the actual name will be for it. And where I've gone and flung parts around, I don't think I actually picked up the. No, I didn't. Ah, that's why I missed mine. Okay, so that's with the converter plug, and this one doesn't need that one, so that will plug straight in. So there we go. That's running clockwise, and if we plugged it in the wrong way round, if it will go, yeah, it won't go.
No.
No, they've actually got a groove in them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but what will actually happen is, don't know if I've got one handy. This won't plug directly into the motor. This will plug into the ESC. The ESC will plug into the receiver, and this will plug into the ESC.
Yeah.
So you'll have, if we pretend that's an ESC, that will plug in like that, and that will plug in like that.
Yeah.
That's obviously not an ESC, that's far bulkier, but for the purposes of this, that's how it's going to work. So, and I like having that connector because when you want to charge that battery, you haven't got to unplug all this. You haven't want to unplug it from the motor. You just somehow figure out this because you need incredible Hulk strength for it, and then you just chuck that into the charger.
Yeah.
So next week there will now be a lot to do, because what we will need to do is we will need to put the wires in, we will finish off the diff, we will put the axles on, and that will be the end of the diff. Then the next 3 weeks we'll do the steering, and then at some point I think we'll then take a break. Let me just check the schedule. This is why I have everything on a spreadsheet, because then I can remember it. Right, so next week will be the last part of the diff, and then we'll have a week off. Then we'll do 3 weeks on the steering. That will finish the front end. Then we'll have a week break. Then we're actually going to put this aside and forget about it for a month. We're going to be looking at doing an LED mod, which might actually be too early. We'll be looking at the cabin and the leveler, and we'll put those together, but we won't be able to fit them. Then we'll have a week off. Then we will do the next 3 stages of the tractor, which will combine this side with the front end, I believe. And then we'll start working on various other bits, the trailer. Oh, we'll do the trailer, and then we'll finish off the tractor. Then we'll do the dumper trailer, then we'll do the fertilizer. And that will be it complete. And it sounds so easy saying it that way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But there is a lot more to it than that. So yeah, so let me see if I can catch up. Right, so Fleetwood J has very kindly posted a link. This is to the LEDs, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I
They're
will
pre-wired.
Right, I will check that out. In fact, tell you what, could you do me a favor, Fleetwood? Could you send that to my Facebook Messenger, and then I'll load it up from there, and then I'll show it on screen. But I'll do that in a moment. So red SMD LED bulk link. So Chris Campling's asked how the holiday is. Chris Campling, I've lost the context of this. LOL, you smell penny. With 3 N's, not 2. Right, so there comes my link. So bear with me for a sec, guys, if you don't mind. Oh, Adrian's done exactly so. I'll use Adrian's link. This is how wonderful Adrian is. Right, so right. Share screen, Chrome tab. Right. So make sure they show up. Right. So at this particular point, I don't know if they're going to be any better for what we're doing.
Smaller and flatter, Penny.
Oh.
You might have to print the back box slightly bit deeper, but they should sit in the back box a bit more.
But look how small they are.
Yeah.
Smaller than a matchstick.
Tanner, yeah.
So how many do you get for that price?
I'm not
20. You get 20.
Yeah, 20, yeah. And they do orange as well as red. So if you was going to be brave enough, you could put the hazards in as well as the brakes.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. Right. Myself and Horlicks have already looked at this mod, and it's very, very simple. Let me change my camera to me, because I think we've done all the doing now. And I'll get rid of that horrible comment that Chris Campling's made. Right. Myself and Horlicks have already looked at this mod already, and it works. But as Love Minis will tell you, I'm always happy to try new things. And I think that's the sort of thing that with all the various projects that I do, it'll come in handy at some point. So I'm going to buy one of each color. And if they're no good, if I can't work into this mod, we'll go back with the original 3mm LED light.
Yeah.
But I haven't lost anything, because now I've got 80 LEDs, which and they're all pre-wired.
Yeah.
So there's no work to do on them. What? Yeah. So they're basic. Yeah. So basically, they'll look like the LEDs that we've got for the headlights, whereas
but flatter and smaller.
Yeah, they'll be like these, except that this end is an LED and they'll have the bare wires at the end.
Yeah.
So yeah, shame they don't do blue. Because I'm looking at those for. I will. Do you know? I will get, because I'm also thinking of the Routemaster as well. I wonder if it can be worked into the Routemaster headlights, especially as I've got a problem with my Routemaster in that one headlight's brighter than the other, and I'm really reluctant to strip it all out.
Yeah, so I am too.
Right.
Yeah.
I know they're expensive. Just a quick look, Penny. Somebody's got some pre-wired blue SMD LED. They're 642 from Hong Kong.
Right.
Just a quick look.
Oh, these are actually six. I mean, they're $6.99, but they're $6.15 if you buy 4. So have you, right? Sorry, you got this. Is that one of the also ones? Oh, yes. If they're the ones I'm thinking of, 20 times pre-wired warm white, green, red, blue, 1206 SMD LED. Is that the ones you're talking about?
Yeah.
$8.99. Whereas the ones I'm looking at here are $6.99, which I'll get for $6.15. Right. I'll get the 4. I'll get red, orange, warm white, and cool white. I'm pretty sure that there'll be a project somewhere along the lines where I'll need LEDs and I can use them. So if I can't work them into this project, I'll work them into another. I don't think they'll go to waste. And you know me, I don't mind experimenting. If it's a few quid and I've wasted it, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
I just thought SMDs be better, being flatter and smaller than conventional LED, where we try and chop it or make it bulky.
Yeah, these do work. What we looked at doing was, I can't remember what part number it is. Right. Sorry, bear with me a sec. Right. How do I lose things so quick?
Have these tractors got a ploughing light on them?
Yes. I haven't incorporated that in yet.
Right.
I will do. It will be very easy to incorporate. You know, I can't find the other bits. They've gone. They're here. That's why. Where I was looking for something else.
Oh no. We've lost Penny.
Now, we can't end the stream now. This is fun.
What we're going to do now?
Oh dear. Clancy Penny has crashed herself, if you know what I mean.
I think so, yeah. Pull the plug.
Yeah.
I think I pressed the wrong button, didn't I?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's because I've got a keyboard somewhere and I've ended up piling stuff on the keyboard. Bear with me. Let me find the keyboard. There it is. Right. Okay, sort of now. Right. So, this is the result of the experimenting. This is the fender.
Yeah.
Right.
See, there's a very small hole there.
Yeah.
That's screwing the grey bit in. What we looked at doing was we drilled that hole out. Sorry, there's one. This is the one at the back. And then there's one at the front. What we actually did was we drilled that hole through. One front. Yeah. And then the LED will go in like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I'm trying to get the angle now. You see, it doesn't poke out much.
Yeah.
No.
And then we drill out the but it means you'll have to glue the silver bit on rather than screwing it in, and then you'll see. See, I'm giving away our secrets now. Right, I've actually drilled them all the way through, and can you see channels in there?
Oh yeah.
So that's where the wires are going to come out. And then we thought the wires will probably in there, and then we'll drill it into there. So they come out there, and this will be the side of the tractor. So we hadn't quite figured out how it was going to work, but we know it can be done somehow. It's just a case of how messy it's going to be.
But aren't you going to get light bleed if you've got a full LED?
I don't believe so, because well, we could always block it, I suppose. But these are all the experiments we could do.
Yeah.
So right, I've got to do a chat catch up.
Yeah.
Right, has anybody seen this Joker movie yet? I really want to see it, but I'll be honest with you, I'll wait for it to come out on rentable TV. I've heard people walking out because they're discussing with what happens. Is that about
apparently in America there's people being traumatized having to go to their doctors for karmas because
do they not realize it's actually not real?
Well, apparently it's the way it's filmed and what it's the ending. It's or whatever. I have not seen it, but I've been reading, and a few people I've seen have walked out and they said it's just too brutal to watch.
I'm going to go down the cinema and watch it. Then I can't wait.
I don't know, but it's not my type of film. But what I've heard, it's yeah.
Well, Penny's into that sort of thing.
I actually like what do they call it? Backstories. You know, you've got like these superheroes like Batman and Superman, and I don't like watching something where they just suddenly appear and off they go. I do like, how do they become whatever they become? So I gather that's what this film is about.
Yeah.
You know, I quite liked Suicide Squad because you kind of find out where, like, Harley Quinn comes from, and her relationship with is it Joker she's got a relationship with, or is it Penguin? It's Joker, isn't it? Is it Penguin? Yeah. So you know, but I mean, I prefer the full-on backstories where the end of the film is the point that you know them already, and then you're like, that's how he became. Because people don't just wake up and they're bad guys, are they?
No.
I'm sure Joker wasn't born Joker, even in fictional writing. So he must have become that way for a reason. That's what I'd like to find out. Matthew Baum says there's going to be a Frozen 2 movie. Think I'll let it go. See what I did there. Yeah, let it go. Even Chris Campling thought that was funny. Yeah. I'm eager for Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, I'll watch any Star Wars film. I know they're getting worse, and they naturally get worse the more sequels you have. But I will stick with them. Chris Campbell says Terminator Dark Fate. I've just seen that being advertised on the buses. So is that coming out or is that out? And Dave Milne says my son's seen it, has not said anything. Dave Milne uses his teeth. Obviously, that's talking about stripping the wire off. Love Minnie says yes, soldering takes time to learn. I'll totally agree with that. I think I learned quickly enough to be able to solder, but I'm still learning to solder well.
Yeah.
I can solder, but I'm not going to be a professional electrician for a long time. So anyone know the storyline of Frozen 2? That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Because wouldn't it be from the Happy Ever After bit onwards?
Apparently, it's how the main character got her powers and her being. So it's like it goes back a bit, if you know what I mean.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Right, so are we going to check the motors? No sound. Chris Davies says hi all. Dave Milne says those bolts look long. Thanks for that comment. You fixed that. Chris Davies, good job. Chris Davies, how are you? Good, thanks. Bit of a chat. Grass models. Oh, is this a Chris convention? Yeah, it turns that way sometimes. So Matthew Baum says, my grandfather built blue Ford tractors.
Oh,
And then Dave Milne says, I presume talking about the LEDs. Would they have been good on the bus mod? Yeah, I think they would. In fact, I think they would have been better in the first place, wouldn't they?
yeah.
Especially that stairwell. You know, where you got that the LED is going to be visible.
Yeah.
I'm now wondering if that can be modified using one of those bulbs.
Could be.
Should we bang heads on that?
Yeah, possibly.
Especially as working as a Facebook group, we might be able to buy these LEDs in blocks of 10
Yeah.
and then distribute them from there.
Yeah. If
So rather than buying 10 just to use one, maybe someone can buy 40, take advantage of that discount. If you buy 10, they're going to be $6.99.
No.
And yeah, so you'll spend basically you'll spend $6.99 on one bulb, and then you'll just end up with 9 left over. So if we bought 40 of them, one person bought 40, and then passed those on for 61p each, it would be £1, because obviously you would send someone £1 plus the postage. Sorry, 61p plus the postage. That'll be about £1 then, won't it?
Yeah.
And then some poor bugger's got to go and take 40 letters down the post office. So, but yeah, there's an idea. I mean, this is one of the great things about Facebook groups, isn't it? We can all do groups.
I've modded mine already, so I'm just trying to think now. How can I if you know what I mean?
But I mean, LEDs flat like that's going to open up a lot of possibilities. And and I'm also thinking the R2D2, because the amount of you got these bezels and they've got lots of holes in, and I've got to put LEDs in each one.
Yeah.
It might just be simpler just to print a flat bezel with slight recesses in, and then maybe I can glue them in or something. Do you think that would work?
Yeah, possibly.
Still be a lot of work, but it might actually be tidier, and you haven't got to worry about the LEDs falling out the back, for example.
No.
Yeah.
So P40F20 says hi Penny, Fleetwood and Dave. And De Niro says hi Penny, Fleetwood and Dave.
Yeah.
So apologies that's a bit of a short issue. It's more to do with the cost than anything else.
Yeah.
The only thing is, obviously, I worked all of this out as theories, and I thought it would be a good idea to bang all the prints in nice and early. In actual fact, that's got me in a bit of a muddle. So it's too late to change it now, but in hindsight, maybe we should just be printing out the parts that we need for the next week. So last week, we would have printed this black piece and those 2 yellow pieces. Then for this week, we'd have printed off that one print. And there you're looking at about that one print, a couple of hours at most.
Yeah.
And that would have really, and like things like the dumper trailer, I've printed that off in 12 different stages, and I think that's how we should have done it. But I'm not going to be able to tell you what parts we need for future issues. But what I will say is, if you've done all the prints as per the spreadsheet, by the time you've finished, well, I'll show you next week's prints, but there's only 6 of them, and one of them I haven't got a name come up. Just bear with me a sec. 22B.
but this gives you a test bed of what your next project is and how you're going to plan that one, how you go forward. So this is always like
exactly, yes, yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
So I've done it. I've done it. I mean, it works, but it could just be a little bit tidier. But if you followed the prints as I'm doing it, by the time you've got to week 4, you have done all of the parts needed for the whole tractor.
Yeah.
And then it then starts to break down a little bit by like week 5 print is all the cabin parts, which is quite a lot of printing, but it's you know, a couple of days worth of print. And then you've got a tire on its own, and then you've got the leveler, and then you've got a tire and the lifter, and then you've got the trailer, and the trailer's been split into 2 weeks, and then you've got the dump trailer, which has been split into 12 weeks. Right, so let's have a look at next week's prints or what you need for next week. So open up Cura, which is my slicer. Let's get screen share going. Now, I had a watch back of last week's. So I'll get to those printers, Steve. I've got some brilliant news, but I'll get to those in a moment. So yeah, I looked at last week's stream, and whereas now I've got Cura up, I thought when I'm going along the top, you should be able to. Yeah, along the top, obviously, I've got a menu, and I'll pull that down, and I'll select files. I thought you could see those menus, but you can't. So from your point of view, you're seeing a screen. I'm telling you what I'm doing, but you're not seeing anything happen. And then all of a sudden, bang, it appears. So that's how it's going to be, I'm afraid. But yeah, that's the only way I can do it. So I do apologize. So I'm going to do this without actually watching the screen because I'm cross-referencing things. So the first piece we need is a piece called piece number 19, which is the hood. All of these prints will be done in the color of your choice. And there is the hood. And believe it or not, even though there's a, let's have a look at this bridge. This bridge there, you would look at that and you'll go, oh, that's never going to work. Believe it or not, it does. You get a couple of straggly lines, but what you've also got to remember is that this line there, that's the top.
Yeah.
Right. The bit right at the very top is going to be the front. This bit down here is the bottom. So in any case, this red line there won't even be on show. And then you've got some, I don't know if you can see them very well, but down there, the bottom, can you see you've got some grooves? And that's where it slides into place.
Yeah.
You remember this piece you'll be opening and you'll be putting on and taking off, because this is where the battery is going to be held. Right, the next piece is piece 20, the console. And this will make sense once it appears. There it is. And that is pretty much going to be the instrument panel. And there's a hole there. That's where the steering wheel will go. And it will be, right, the front, I'm trying to think which way around that goes. Right, but that's yeah, you see there, it's got a hole through it. So that's where the steering wheel will go, I think. The next piece is 22A and 22B, which are the right and left fenders. These are large, but they're not very high. There we go. So you can see they're not, the main bulk of it isn't really that much. And then there you've got this large bit there. But once it gets that, that's really easy print. Let me just do and arrange all models. These will all fit on the print bed. You've just got to do a bit of rearranging, but I'll work that out in a bit. Right, so there should be one more print, which now the next piece is called 63, the air filter. And this is one problem, one issue. It's not actually included with the OpenRC tractor files. He's actually accidentally put it in the cabin files. So you need to download the cabin. And that's the piece there. And that's upside down. And that will stick somewhere along on this hood.
Yeah.
And you may want to do this on a smaller resolution than he says. But can you see that there it is. I'm trying to get a good angle on it. Right. Can you see that's got a slight angle to it? It's quite hard to see, but that's because of the hood.
Oh,
You look at the top of the hood. It's not flat. So it's actually designed to be stuck about halfway on one side. So let's do a little bit of a rearrange on this. There is quite a bit of manipulation involved, but they will fit on. And it is quite a long move. Yeah, we move that up there. We move that across there. That's not how I would do it, but they're all on the bed. So I'm just now, guys. Like I said earlier, I've made these G code files, and I've saved them to an SD card. Would anyone be interested in me sharing them? Bearing in mind they will only work on an Ender 3. So it is loading. You see, basically, the longer the file is, the longer it'll take to slice, as you can imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Right. I mean, I say they won't work. I don't know if they'll work on a print bed of the same size, but as far as I wouldn't try them. Right, that is a 19-hour print, which might scare some people. If it does scare you, then do them as 5 separate prints or 4. I think the longest print will be the hood. So I'm comfortable doing a 19-hour print, but if you're not, then print them one piece at a time. I'll compare the hood with the fender, but I think the hood is going to take longest. But you don't need supports on that, believe it or not.
And of course, the hood and fender are American words for bonnet and wings, aren't they?
Yes, yeah. I tried to use the words that he's put in the files.
Yeah.
If I said bonnet, you're going to look through the files and go, I can't find the bonnet.
Yeah.
If I've said hood, you'll go, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
So, Dave Miller says, Dave, say you put the stream out tomorrow. Dave say yes, 8 o'clock tomorrow. Right. That's a 7.5 hour print for that.
Yeah.
So I would say that's a Sunday print. You know, get your printer going on a Sunday, get your Sunday dinner prepared, cooked and eaten, and then when you're finished your pudding, your print will be finished.
Yeah.
And there you go. 4 hours for the wing. So I might actually be tempted to print both of the wings together.
Yeah.
To an 8 or 9 hour print, and that will just leave the console and the air filter, which you could probably do on a Monday evening after work. I'll be very surprised if that goes over 4 hours. In fact, I'm just going to move that. Oh, you know, my computer plays up when I'm streaming. Right. So, yeah, I mean, if you're not comfortable with that length of print, then print them over three prints, one on a Saturday, one on a Sunday, one during the week, maybe, or when you have days off. As I say, my printers, I'm comfortable. There you go, 2.5 hours for those. That's probably about 20 minutes on its own.
Yeah.
So the next thing to look at, I've got to work this one out because we buy electronics well in advance, don't we? So schedule week 3, right? Week 9 electronics. So we've only got one thing to buy, because by the time we get to week 9, when we want the parts that we're ordering in week 3, we've bought all of the screws. So there'll be no more screws to buy. So why is that cost so much? Okay, no, ignore that. Right, so the piece we're after is 905, the micromotor, sorry. Let me just load that up first. 105 micromotor. Now it says that you've got a choice of 2. Let me see what it says. Right, I've paid £6.96. Wow. Oh no, I didn't pay that much. Right. Right, sorry, let me get the screen share going. Right, stop screen, share screen, Chrome tab. So this is the motor. It's £3.36. Now, on the parts, right, you need 2 of them. I paid £6.96 for 2, but this one will be £6.72. There's 2 sizes, 2 speeds to choose from. I cannot remember the size. He's put choose 56 RPM or 160. Now, obviously, these are going to be for the lifter and also the fertilizer. So what's going to happen is if you have a faster motor, it's going to move faster. So I think I have actually bought both, but I've got a feeling the 56 will be better, because if you had a fertilizer spinning 3 times faster, instead of spreading to that distance, it's going to spread to that distance.
Yeah.
Instead of picking bits off the carpets, you're going to be picking bits out from the kitchen cabinets.
Yeah.
And next door's garden.
I bought mine off eBay for £4.35 and 85 pence postage.
What, each?
Yeah.
Right, these ones £3 something.
Yeah.
So,
I'm trying to do mine by eBay rather than trying to buy on
eBay. You'll probably get it in a week. I mean, if I look at the that one's got free shipping. But if you paid an extra £1.81, you can have that delivered in 2 weeks. The bottom line is, with Banggood, they're a lot cheaper, but they're also a lot longer on the delivery times. This is why we're looking at week 3 prints and week 9 or whatever electronics, because it gives you more time to get the electronics.
Yeah.
So the actual parts that we're going to need electronics for next week, which we should have ordered weeks ago, is going to be the servos, and some bearings, and some 10mm button head bolts. So, But you'll be glad to know that week 4, we have no electronics at all.
Oh,
So I've taken advantage of no electronics and chucked extra screws in. So the more screws we get in, let me show you something. This is one of the things that makes it awkward. I'm not agreeing with the author on the types of screws to be used, and as a result, it's taken a lot of working out. I've stuck stickers on all of that because there's so many different sizes of screws. Each number is the length of the bolt. So I've gotten a muddle. So rather than having notes and losing the notes, I've stuck stickers. Obviously, yours won't have stickers on, but it's just that as I build it, I can make notes about half an hour before the stream and then use notes. With that trailer, you've got a servo going in. If you use the screw that he says to use, you actually push all the way through the servo holder and you actually snap it in two. Where if you use a smaller screw, it holds it in, but it's being held in place by 3. So you've got one screw holds, 2 screws holds, attaches a servo to the platform. The next screw holds the servo, I think it's the servo and the bit to the platform, but most of the weight is taken by the other 2 screws, so it doesn't need to be so long. But it recess rather than a hole. So if you've got a recess this big and you try and put a screw in that big, can you see what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Whereas if you've got a hole that long, you now need a screw that long because you've got to put a nut on the end.
Yeah.
So but you know, I've disagreed with the author in a few places. He might then come back and say, no, I've done it like this because, when you guys may disagree with me and the author.
Yeah.
So this is why, you know, as I build it on stream, like today, I've gone in with the screws that I thought were correct. They didn't work out. Lovely Dave Milner's corrected us, and that's fine. We've used the screws. I have tried to plan the screws that you won't be needing them before you buy them, and the same with electronics. So I think that is everything needed for the future issues.
Yeah.
So cheap 3D printers. I put the offer in for those printers last week and I was ignored. And the offer just expired. So I put another offer. I put 120 in, didn't I, for 2 printers?
Yeah.
I then put another offer in of 130 for the 2, and that offer was completely ignored. And in all fairness, I'm glad it was, because something came up and I wouldn't have been able to afford it anyway. But I had also I found the same printer sold by another seller, and I put an offer in, I think, of £65, and then the offer was declined. So he did actually bother, and he didn't ignore me. But then I messaged the first person, and I was a little bit cheeky. I said, I didn't lie, but I was being a bit cheeky. I said, look, I'm a YouTuber. I want to buy the one. I'll be honest with you. I don't fully trust these printers. They just look too cheap to me. I'd like to buy one, build it on my stream, then go away and do 3 or 4 prints using different materials and stuff. See how I get on. Do an honest review on it. What price can you do for that? Obviously, I'll advertise where I got it from and include links. And then he sent me a message back saying, I'll pass that on to my manager and that was 2 days ago, and he hadn't replied yet. So I'm not saying he won't reply,
but he could do, yeah.
And then this morning or yesterday, this happened with the other seller, the guy who did reply and declined my offer. So bear with me a second. There we go. So the price got dropped a little bit.
Oh,
So I put an offer in of £65 and it was rejected. So I counter offered £67.50, which is halfway between the offer that was rejected and the price he was advertising it at. I haven't told this guy I'm a YouTuber, but I've paid £65 for it. It should be with me theoretically. Let me just have a look at the order. Hopefully it hasn't got my address on it. It has got my address on it. Oh, I can't. Right.
Wednesday the 16th and Thursday the 17th.
That was what I was looking for. Right. So it should be with us Wednesday or Thursday, which is great because I'm actually off next Sunday. So assuming it comes by Friday, do you want me to do a live stream on Saturday and I'll put it together?
yeah.
Okay,
I will keep the box sealed. So what you see for the first time will be what I see for the first time.
Yeah.
Isn't you're doing a stream, Fleetwood?
Sunday.
Sunday, yeah.
Oh, that is. No,
I've got to ring up D'Agostini, have a go at them.
Yeah.
Right. When are we doing the Sunday, the Fiat stream?
Well, hopefully Sunday the 20th. If I can get
what time are we looking at? Have you not got the Fiat?
I got box one, but it's not the Fiat.
So hang on. So the box that I've got up there, that I got the same day you got a box, wasn't the Fiat.
No. I've got camper park pack one.
Right. Okay.
So now I've got to ring D'Agostini and say.
So camper as in the camper van, not as in the camper of the.
The Volkswagen camper. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Which I've got already from last year.
Right. Oh yeah, because you did it and they didn't continue. Oh, our favorite. Our joint top favorite person thing.
Hello, Willow.
Was that
Right. So, okay, shall we make a plan and a backup plan for Sunday?
Yeah.
Right. So, first of all, what time are we going to stream?
8.
Right. In that case, I will stream at 2.
Yeah.
2 in the afternoon.
2, 3, yeah.
I think that'll give me a good 4 hours to stream, and then a 2-hour break to get food and stuff, and then we'll come on and do. Right. So obviously, if you get the Fiat parts, we'll be doing the Fiat.
I doubt quick Model Space can get it out to me.
Right.
Unless...
So, assuming the Fiat parts don't arrive, what do you want to do? Do you want to do the camper van, or do you want me to do the Fiat?
Unless I swing it round the other way, because I was going to do the Renault the following Sunday, the 27th.
Okay.
Unless I swing them round, put the the Renault on the Sunday, and then that gives Model Space another week. You know what I mean? Unless I ring Model Space and say, look, I'm a YouTuber.
Well, you do know you won't get pack 2 less than a month before after pack 1, don't you?
Yeah, I know.
Or are they claiming that they've sent pack 1 out?
Well, they said it's pack 1.
Right.
But my neighbour opened the box and it was Volkswagen camper parts. So I said, "Oh, can you open it? Because I wanted to just be nosy." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So
pulled
are you
out,
going to send that back
running
and
in
say
the
you sent
camper.
the wrong one? Did your neighbour read the invoice in it?
No, she didn't know.
Right.
Because she said it was my personal information, you see. So,
Well, the invoice says what it actually contains. I
right.
don't think I've got mine. I just chuck it straight in the bin. But yeah, because I get impatient when my boxes go to the post office. I get impatient, but I don't want to open the box because then I end up with loose parts. So I always rip that little invoice off the front and I open it up and it says Millennium Falcon or whatever. Right.
Yeah.
So do you want to do the Fiat the last Sunday of the month? And then that way we've got a firm date. And then if you haven't got yours, we'll do mine. I'll still do it as your stream.
Well, give me till Wednesday, and I'll quickly pop on the Routemaster show and just update everybody what's going on. You know what I mean? And then I can speak to Giagostini and wonder what the flaming Nora is going on here. If you know what I mean?
With regards to model space, I've got an update. My payment for my Millennium Falcon and Harley went through yesterday and the day before. And in my experience, it goes through my bank statement as an uncleared payment. And then about 2 or 3 days later, it clears. And usually the same day that the payment clears in my bank is the day that I receive the parts.
Yeah.
So I think I will receive the Harley parts on about Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. And that's the parts we're waiting for to continue the build.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, it said, now install the parts that you're not going to receive for 3 months.
Yeah.
Those parts that are coming. And I'm going to be looking at, because I've got Millennium Falcon to catch up on and Harley Davidson. So what I'm actually thinking about doing is doing some Sunday afternoon streams where I'll perhaps do two Millenniums a week. But one week in the month I'll do the whole Harley.
Yeah.
And then once I've caught up with the Millennium, I'll do one a week. But obviously there's only 3 or 4 Sundays in the month and I'll have 4 issues.
Yeah.
So I'll have a little look. I'll open up the box. I'll look at the magazines, and I'll try and find 2 easy issues together. And then one of the weeks in the month, I'll do 2 issues, unless there's 5 Sundays in the month, in which case I've then got content for the whole month.
Yeah.
Would you guys all be up for that?
Yeah.
It's like me trying to work out when to put the Eureka box on as well, because obviously did the first one live. I've now got one at home, which is the coin sorter, and then the next one is now on its way, which is going to be a ukulele.
Yeah.
I'm
Looking forward to that one.
When I'm cleaning windows.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's a proper full-size ukulele as well. This is going to be interesting.
Wow.
So I work. Oh, yeah, that reminds me. My afternoon streams are going to change times. In a 4-week period, I have 2 Sundays off. One Sunday I work early. Tomorrow I'm working early. And I should, in theory, be home by 3. And then the 2 weeks' time, I'll work late, where I start work at 2.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking either not stream or do an early stream.
Yeah.
See, I'm thinking maybe try and get my... See, trouble is, they come out calendar monthly. And my rota works on a 4-week basis. If I'd like to do the Harley early in the morning when I work late, because they don't tend to be long builds.
Yeah.
Whereas the Millennium, sometimes that's quite a long build.
Yeah.
And to do 2 issues, obviously not so many people will watch it because it's early on a Sunday. It's not really good time for people watching, but the video will be up on YouTube for people to watch whenever they want it.
Just put Dave Milne's last comment on there.
Right, may have to do a mod on my bus blinds as wheel does not. Yes, right. I don't know if you caught Wednesday's show. You won't catch when. I've given up on that. I don't think that's going up. I think there's a problem with my YouTube. Thankfully, Wednesday we only built the same thing we did on the previous side the week before. But one thing I did mention, Kevin Kilford made a post on Facebook about his wheel, and I looked at mine, and I'm still not convinced mine's working properly. But I think the bottom cog is too low down. So what I'm looking at doing, I think, is a really easy fix. You need a disc to go underneath that cog to lift that up a little bit. So I'm going to play with probably tomorrow afternoon because I'm on earlies tomorrow. It's the only day of the week where I don't do 400 hours in the shift, unless 400 people blow out their shifts. I'm going to look at designing a black disc, and it'll be the total width will be the width of the cog with a little hole in the middle, which will be the size of the spacer. And I'll probably print 1/2 mil, one 1 mil thick, one 1.5 mil thick, one 2 mil thick.
Yeah.
And I think we'll be able to get that wheel off without having to take apart the whole front. And I'll see if that makes a difference. And I will cheat and I will try the mod off air.
Yeah.
And if it works, I'll then do it on the Wednesday on air.
On the Routemaster group, it's Kevin Sylvester.
Oh, Kevin Sylvester.
Yeah. So if Dave, if you want to look at Kevin Sylvester's post on the cab bland winding gear, it is picked out a few items on there that's not helping. In particular, some of the wires that are getting trapped and the way that the framework comes down and it buttons up to the framework.
Yeah,
I haven't done that issue yet, so I've got that to come on both of our buses.
yeah. I don't know if we'll be able to have a really close look at it next week because next week's build looks like it's going to be a complicated one. But we'll do our best to really sort of interrogate it.
Yeah.
But I theoretically, that's what I'm finding is if I push the wall down, the cog does engage. But obviously I can't be, once it's fully built, I can't be pushing that wall down. But
I think there's a couple of fixes that's been suggested.
Yeah.
Drilling the holes a little bit deeper in the top where the wall goes down. So drilling the holes a little bit deeper so that it physically goes down further. And then there's the wires that are getting trapped. And then there's your suggestion of washers.
Yeah, washers could work actually. They could be even easier.
Yeah.
I'm going through all that trouble designing something, and it might just be a case of put some washers in.
Yeah.
Dave said that he's seen it, but doesn't fancy cutting frameworks.
No.
Okay.
The problem with my mod is because it's going to push the cog up. We may need a longer screw.
Yeah.
That's the only
thing. I'll do something for 5 minutes.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay.
No worries. Do you want me to take you off the stream?
Yeah, you can do. Yeah, I'll be back in a minute.
All right.
All right.
Because the problem is, if I take him off the stream, he's now on a small screen underneath. He'll be sitting there going, and I won't see him. Bear with me a sec. Got a bit of a problem in the house. I got a feeling that's someone moaning.
It's a wonder I've got any internet tonight, because there is a
Yeah.
wedding down there.
You've done very well actually tonight, haven't you?
Yeah, there is a wedding down there. That
Yeah.
must mean that box problem we had last week has gone, thank goodness.
Yeah. I'm also going to show you this. This is a stream that I'm not going to be able to do. And I'm sorry, I'm going to nick the full
That's all right.
screen. Right. I subscribe to a new box called Universal Yums. It's an American company who ships worldwide. And what they do is they pick a country. You don't know what country they're going to pick. And they fill a box full of snacks and sweets from that country. And the problem I had, I don't know if it's because of when I subscribed, but the payment for the second month actually went through before I'd received the first month.
Yeah.
So I've had to go for 2 months worth of subscription to try it. But the first one arrived.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
I did intend to do a stream about it, a live unboxing.
Yeah.
But here's my problem and why I can't do that. I can show you the contents of the box, not a problem.
Yeah.
And this is the contents. It probably is quite expensive at about 40 quid. So as you can see, this month it's Greece. So you get
right.
You get a nice little booklet, and this tells you all about the things in there. There's activities for the kids to do. So you've got trivia all about Greece. I'm trying to avoid showing you the sweets. But, and then you've got facts and things about Greece.
Wow.
Bits and bobs. This is before you've got to the sweets. You've got a Greek recipe there. And then you've got trivia answer key and clue to next month's box. I'll go through that in a minute.
Yeah.
You got a little bit of advertising gumph about their Halloween box, which I'm not going to worry about too much. There was actually one item that what they basically said is a packet of cookies due to what's the wording they used? Unexpected quality issue. They've had to pull it. And they discovered the issue a few days prior to packing the box. So unfortunately, there's not been enough time for us to source a replacement product. Currently, we're working out the best fix possible, and we'll have an update for you in your October box, which I don't believe I can't remember. Right. Then you've got all of this about Greece. And then, and you got the opportunity here with you and 3 friends, you can actually rate which thing you like the most. It's slightly offensive because that assumes I'm going to share these things with people.
Yeah. Well, I think you should share them.
No, that's a swear word in my house.
Oh, right.
Right. So this is what I got. Now, the problem I've got is I can show you the items, but really you'd want a taste. Now, I can taste these and tell you what I think.
Yeah.
But it will only ever be my opinion.
Yeah, of course. I understand.
If I opened these and tried one, and then I opened everything, that then gives me about a day or 2 to eat the lot. And as you can see, there's quite a lot in there.
There's loads, yeah.
So we've got this croissant with apricot filling. We've got
sounds good.
This is not. Does anyone read Greek?
Yeah, no.
Do you know it's got 0% trans fatty acid? It's lactose free. Oh, there we go. Natural and artificial grape must flavored soft cookie. I guess they're tortilla chip, oregano flavor.
All right.
Something just fell out. Oh no.
Oh, it's been rust.
Bag split. Oh, they're nice. Oh, they're really nice. They're crisps, but they're not They're not hard. They're like almost soft crisps, but they look like crisps.
Yeah.
And they're oh, they're nice. Herby flavored crisps, basically. Right. So, trying to find what I've done. Here's my apricot one. There's that. Then you've got pizza flavored something. What are these? Those hard bread things, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
A filled. Oh, here we go. Sweet bread with chocolatey cream filling. Only 330 calories. That means I could eat about 8 of those in a day, couldn't I?
Yeah, that's good.
We've got crackers. Oregano and feta cheese flavored. I'm seeing a bit of a theme here with Greece. Cheese and herbs, they obviously like. Sea salt flavored chips.
Yeah.
That's crisps.
Crisps, yeah.
What's this? We've got traditional Greek pastry. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Yeah.
We've got shall we just call that a chocolate chip cookie? Dark chocolate chunks.
Looks it, yeah.
Yeah. Yum bag. Full of fun and yums.
Oh.
I think this is not the Greek thing. This is from Universal Yums. Should we open this up?
There's a sweet called Yum Yums, isn't they?
They're what?
There's a sweet called Yum Yums, isn't they?
No, I think this is. I think this is from Universal Yums. This isn't a Greek thing. This has got no Greek writing on it, and it's got squidgy stuff in it.
Oh, right.
I'll save that till last. Right, this is a bit unfortunate because these are bread rings with crunchy cornflakes, and they've all broken. But you know they're still edible. Lots of crunch at the bottom. We've got soft nugget with orange in. We've
Sounds
got
good.
chocolate bar. This looks like. Can I guess it? Lemon pie. We've got, that looks like a muesli bar of some nut bar, peanut and honey nut bar.
Yeah.
And that looks like chocolate and hazelnut bar. And then basil pesto flavored mini breadsticks. They're not mini breadsticks. Oh, they're little bits. So that's the Greek box. I don't know if that's 40 quid's worth of value, but there's lots of different things to try there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and obviously I'm going to have to eat these crisps now, aren't I? Because they've burst open. Let's have a look at this yum bag there. So you can see why I can't really rate it all in one stream.
Yeah, of course.
Once I've opened them, I've got to eat them.
Do it over a week.
Yeah. So, I think, oh, this is a bag of sweets. So that looks like pomegranate flavour. Oh, I love pomegranate. That's got to be honey. Yeah, honey. That's a honey flavoured toffee.
Nice.
Another pomegranate. Oh, got some blue ones. Tiny little things.
Love Minnie says that she's got to go.
Okay, take care, love minis. Look after yourself.
And Dave Milne says that she's super sorted.
Yeah, take these to work with me. Wow. Oh, jelly. Oh, that's more pomegranates. Brilliant. So yeah. So that came the other day, and then and I like little things like this. They've sealed it with a sticker that says the birthplace of democracy. So we've learned something about Greece before we've even opened it.
Yeah.
So let's have a quick look at this. Oh, we've got 3 curious customs there. Right. So next month, Where we're headed next, the symphonies give chills. You can hear them in the opera house, the castles, the hills. But when you taste the yums, the music will be eclipsed by world-famous chocolates and punchy red chips.
Ah,
Any ideas?
yeah, somewhere abroad.
So, right. So, by coincidence then, this arrived this morning.
Ah, the next one.
So, the next one arrived. Yeah. And it is Austria.
Yeah.
But there's no information about the missing item from last month. So this one actually excites me more.
God, look at them. Cool mint lemons.
Cool mint lemons, yeah. Creamy onion. They look like those potato sticks.
Yeah, fritters, yeah.
Yeah, you know the ones where you get hundreds in a bag, don't you?
Chipsticks.
Yeah, that's it. Chocolatey, wafery, wafer cake with almond cream filling in whole milk chocolate.
Oh.
This one intrigues me. It's squidgy. It's called the Big Banana.
Oh, we used to have something like that as kids.
That was exactly what I was thinking of. Yeah, Nut Joe. So that's obviously a wafer and nut bar.
Yeah.
So you can see this one's appealing to me because it's got lots of chocolate in it. This
Bobby.
one is all in foreign.
Bobby.
Oh, hang on. Salisbury. Oh, I don't know what this is. It's got every language but British. Oh, ingredients. No, I don't know what it is. It's a Bobby bar. Oh, yeah. Banana.
Oh, banana.
Yeah. So there's a bit of a banana theme going on.
Bobby the banana.
This one, I don't know if I like it. I'll try it, but it's a glazed ginger nut bread with nuts. I've got lots of little things in. I like this is a caramel Bobby bar.
Oh.
Pretzels no, not pretzel. Paprika style. Zignunderrada.
Pretzels. Round pretzels. Yeah, it is like Christmas, yeah.
Yeah. Volmilch, yeah. Chocolate milk, cacao milk chocolate. So this one, I love strawberry. Don't know what it is, but it's got a picture of strawberries on the front, so that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Strawberry flavored marshmallows with chocolatey coating. Not chocolate, chocolatey.
Ah.
2 of these chocolatey thingy wafflets. They do actually do the write-up in the book. So
of what everything is, yeah.
Yeah. So let's see if I can find these chocolate. There we go. Milch wafflets. Pop quiz. In Austria, ananas is the word for a particular fruit. Guess which? Nope, it's not bananas. Ananas actually refers to pineapple and strawberry. Let's explain. And then blah, blah, blah. And then off it goes. And that's the write-up for one product.
Yeah.
That's just pretty in-depth, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So what else have we got here? We've got...
Have you got Fleetwood J back yet?
Oh! Sorry, Fleet. No, we haven't. No, we haven't.
No.
Oh, I thought I forgot all. Well, I had forgotten all about them. Right, we've got. So I've seen these before. Pom Bar or Pom Bear.
Pom Bears.
These are ketchup flavored. And
yeah.
Is that another split bag?
Could be.
I think that's a split bag. They're going to have to be eaten then, aren't they? This is Snips.
Kelly
Peanut
Snips.
flavour. What do you reckon? Peanut flavour? Peanuts?
Yeah.
They don't look like peanuts. They look like coated something. I might have to open them up.
Might be monkey nuts.
Well, that's what I thought. No, they're like Twiglet. No, they're kind of What's It stroke Twiglet. That makes sense. Oh, we go. Oh, maybe not. Oh, there's so many different languages, but no English. Ah,
Reminds me of
the airy way to eat peanuts. Genuine Kelly's peanuts of American origin give this product its unique characteristic flavor. Kelly Snips, the original, made of 32% peanuts for incomprehensible. So it's puffed peanuts.
puff peanuts, yeah, maybe.
Puffed peanuts. I don't know. That's all I can think of on that one. We've got gingerbread with plum filling dipped in dark chocolate. Haze, I don't know. This is the fun, isn't it? Trying to figure out. It's like shopping in Lidl's, isn't it?
That's, I was just going to say that.
I actually watched Sean Locke the other day, and he said that Lidl's is his favourite shop.
Yeah.
Sour cream chips. These are pralines. They look very posh, don't they?
Yeah.
And this one is the one that I like the look of the most. And that is dark chocolate covered blackcurrant jellies.
Oh.
And that's quite a hefty bag, actually.
Yeah.
That's 200 grams. So, yeah, no, Sean Locke was saying about how he says, I love shopping in Lidl's. He goes, I haven't got a clue what anything is. He says, I bring stuff home from my wife, and I go, there you go, stuff and waffle. He goes, it might be nice, it might be poisonous. So, yeah, I think I'm going to continue this box for a couple of months. The only issue I've got with it is there would obviously be no American candies in it.
Yeah.
Because it's an American product.
Yeah.
And it's designed to bring products from all around the world. So, you know, Americans probably wouldn't appreciate having products that they can get round the corner.
Yeah. You've got in the chat, Penny, you've got Makit projects.
Hello, Mr. Makit. Right, it's going well. Let me change my view again. Right, because we're basing this on the cost. Oh, Fleetwood's back. Because we're basing it on the cost and we're buying things before we need it, all we've actually been able to achieve is this, which you may be the only. Oh, this is fine. It's absolutely fine. I don't expect to be able to make every single week. Yeah, what we've done is we built this piece last week because if any more, it would have cost us too much. And then what we've done today is we've attached the motor to the motor mount, and then we've soldered the JST cable on. But because we haven't got the budget this week to get the servos, I can't put the wires in because we want to put the servo. We've got 4 wires to go in there. So next week, so we're actually up to about 3.5 minutes into your differential video. But next week, we'll have everything to complete the differential. So it's week 1 was a very, what we call a slow build, but we were able to bulk it out because we did things like the differential. We took the differential apart. We had a look at it. We spread all the grease around. We put the bearings in, and then that was basically done. As I say, all we've really done this week is a bit of soldering, but at the end of next week's show, we will be at the same stage as the end of I think it's video 3, the build with me, which is the differential, and then we'll have a week off because I'll be on late, and then we'll start on the steering. And yeah, I'm really happy. We've tested it. It works. I'll be honest with you, the motor's a little bit faster than I thought it would be. I wasn't sure. What we've done is we set the multimeter for 7.4 volts, which is the same voltage as the battery. But we haven't officially bought the battery yet. I just pulled this out just to test it. And yeah, very happy. I'm really impressed with this motor mount. I really would have thought that screwing a heavy motor into a motor mount with 2 8mm screws, I really didn't think that would be enough. But once we screwed them in, that's not going anywhere. And then I've loosely screwed the motor mount in. You see it's not in tight. That's simply because it turns 2 pieces into 1 piece, so it can sit on my shelf for a week and then be less chance of losing it. But obviously if I was sitting here building it all in one project, then obviously I would attach that in one go. I didn't plan it as well as I thought I did. Really don't, I mean, this is all of the prints for the first couple of weeks, and some of these won't be used for about another 8-10 weeks. So I really didn't need to go that crazy on the printing. But, you know, this is our second project we've done. So, yeah, the planning is something that I can still work on. So, yeah, I'm really, really happy. I think everybody else is as well, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
And I've got 2 people I'm printing the pieces for because they want to do it. And I know there's more people who are interested in it. I mean, a lot of people were hooked just on the video, but now they're actually seeing it, and it's so much bigger than we thought, isn't it, Dave?
Yeah. Yeah, it's brilliant.
But Dave the boffin, once he figured out once we saw the size of the steering wheel, he could work out the size of the tractor just from the steering wheel. That's how much of a boffin he is. So, yeah, no, we're really enjoying it. And yeah, I printed some more parts off. I've never seen red filament before. This is a print that I made for Adrian. And oh yeah, that's right. I did show you the cabin, didn't I? This actually comes with supports built in, and if you remember, I said that I've cut one of the supports out there.
Yeah.
And the support there. That's purely just for me to know what it's like. I left 2 supports in so I can show you on stream. This is actually what it looks like without any supports removed.
Right.
That's Adrian's red filament, and when I said to Adrian yesterday, I said, when I say it's red, I mean it's red. That is very red. Pardon?
Pillar box red, isn't it?
Yeah. Bus red.
Slightly brighter than the Routemaster. P40F20 says, I can imagine that print is like eating crisps. You can easily get carried away. Yeah. I've got to confess to you, I am really enjoying this now, because the 2 people, Fleetwood and Adrian, that I'm printing the parts for, I've said to them, send me your filament and I will print it, and then you cover the postage. So I'm actually getting to print loads of things, and it's not costing me a penny, and I'm loving it. Trying to organize everything. But yeah, it's if you're expecting, because of the way, I mean, obviously slowing everything down has a benefit to the weekly cost, but it also has a negative effect on the amount of build we're doing. You know, that you wouldn't think that's 2 weeks work, but that's the way it is. But next week, I think there will be a lot to do. Also, I need to apologize. One of my weaknesses that Dave and Fleetwood will say is when it comes to guests, I do forget to send out emails early on. If I remember rightly, didn't I send you a message this morning saying how you were able to make the show? And I felt that might have been a bit too short notice for you, Makit, so I didn't. But basically, like I say, the feedback we got from you being on the show that first week was absolutely amazing.
Brilliant.
And if we could pass a law that says that you have to be on this show every week, you know, everyone would back that. So you are more than welcome to come on every week if you want. Would you like me to just send you the link every week and then you can come on if you make it, if you can, and not if you can't?
I think that's a good idea, Penny.
Just in case anybody doesn't know who Makit Projects is, Makit Projects is the guy who made this tractor. So I really, if you haven't done already, in the comments, pick one of his comments. To the right hand side, you'll see 3 dots. Go over to his channel and subscribe. Why he hasn't got no more subscribers, I really do not understand. He hasn't just done the tractor. He's also done, I'm glad you're watching, this spool holder is absolutely amazing. It prints in 2 halves, and each half is identical, but they go in at 90 degrees. So you've got a nut on one end, and then you've got a screw. So that screw corresponds with a nut, and then it's I love it, and it's quite a lengthy print, but it's these little bits on the outside that work really well for me, because sometimes you get spools and they've got 1 notch, so you might end up having that because it won't be enough for the next turn. So, but this has got so many notches, you can have just a little bit sticking out. So yeah, absolutely love it. So yeah. And we're kind of planning the LED mod. So we're going to try and have rear lights on it. Oh, just in case you missed it last week, gotta show you this. We came across, I didn't show you, did I, guys?
Oh.
Brilliant. Do you remember we were looking at the orange flashing lights? I've shown you guys, haven't I, Dave and Fleetwood? But
Yeah.
The audience. I'm so sorry. Right. So we found these on eBay. These are orange flashing LEDs. And what we're going to do is I don't know if you did this on purpose, but the light, the gap in the hole in the bottom is exactly 5 mil. And these are 5 mil bulbs, and they go in tight, and they're perfect. And let me play with my voltage. I'll keep it low because I've blown bulbs, haven't I?
Yeah.
A lot. But I don't mind blowing my cheap ones. Don't want to do it too bright.
That's it. Yeah.
I can't really see it. There we go.
Yeah.
That's only on 2 volts. I daren't do it too high. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some wires in, and there we go. So we're going to make a hazard warning light on the top. So we're going to print the light off in a clear filament, and then we'll try and hide the wire somewhere. we'll probably connect it up to the same wire as the headlights. Yeah, we've got, that's going to be one of our mods. So again, that's the beauty of this project, is you have got an absolutely fantastic project, which, like the Routemaster, if you're happy with that, that's fine. But if you want to take it a stage further, you can. Right. So, Mr. Makit, I will contact you every week. If you don't need to apologize to me if you can't make it, but it'd be absolutely wonderful to have you on the show if you can. So yeah, I do apologize for that, and I hope everything worked out last week for you. Right, so that, I can't think of anything else.
No.
Can you?
No.
I'm going to have to nip off in a minute because I've got to go and sort Sparkles out.
Yeah, no. Oh, Sparkle's okay.
Yeah, fine. She just needs her meds, if you know what I mean. We've got mixing rice pudding and
Oh, okay. All right. I thought I just, you know, the last thing I want to hear right now is she's taking
no, she's fine. She just needs
I remember my poor old
her
cat.
dodgy medicine.
Oh God.
Yes. I'll tell you what, for a painkiller, this absolutely absolutely.
What you got to remember is that with an animal, you don't need to hide the smell. Human painkiller probably smells the same.
Yeah.
But no kid would ever take a smelly painkiller, so you've got to make it strawberry flavored. It's the only way kids will eat it or drink it.
I did say you can't really see it. I don't know, pick up. It looks like a dodgy sample. I won't say what.
I was going to say that does look like a urine sample bottle.
Well, I was thinking something else, but yeah, near enough.
Yeah, that does look a bit dodgy. Yeah, please do. I'm actually going to be looking at doing one of the projects that Makit does is these little robots, and they 3 different things. One follows a line, one is cannot remember, and the one that I like is the obstacle avoid. You can just put it on the floor and it'll just go around, and anytime it sees an obstacle. Oh, the other one is light following. So if you had like a laser pen or a torch or something, it'll always go towards the torch.
Yeah.
But the one I really like is the obstacle avoiding one. You could just put it on the floor and it'll just do its own thing, and it'll just never bump into anything.
Yeah,
and to be honest, it's not something I'm capable of doing, but the programming for it, I believe, is actually quite simple. You've got sensors, I guess, like Arduino and stuff, where I don't know. I'll have a look at it one day, but hopefully it'll be something that I can bring to you guys. Might actually be nice to do a really short project one time.
Yeah.
3 weeks. But yeah, it's, I say, this is obviously, if you do something to fit yourself, to fit a particular need, it does come at a cost. And the cost of bringing the cost down is that it's going to drag that build out. I'd really love to do the differential 1 week, the steering the next, the almost finished the next week. And, you know, but, you know, that's the way it's going to have to be, I'm afraid. So we bring that cost down. But yeah, I'm really happy with this so far. It's also a little bit of a challenge, like, for example, working out which particular JST cable we put on there, and I've decided on the female because the battery connector is a male, which goes into the ESC, and then out of the ESC comes a male. Sorry, this plugs into a female, and a male comes out the ESC, which will then plug into this.
Yeah.
So, but if we get it wrong, that's not a problem, because all we need to do is solder 2 male plugs together, and then you've created a female to male adapter then, haven't you?
Yeah.
Or likewise, one day we might need the opposite way. But my soldering's good for an amateur. And I meant to say actually how to do it without soldering. All you'd really need to do is strip more of the wire, much more than I did, thread it through, and then wrap it more, and then push the heat shrink tube on. Make sure you get a heat shrink tube that will go over the tab on the motor, and then pop it on and then heat it. It won't be as good as a solder joint, but it will hold. And the more turns you do, the more it's going to hold it in. And then that heat shrink tube will stop it from unraveling. I'm
going to disappear off, so thanks everybody.
Yeah, no I'm actually going to finish the stream now anyway. Because I still, although I've got a line in the morning, I've still got to get up in the AM rather than the PM. So 6 o'clock tomorrow, which is a bit of a bonus. Right. So next week we are finishing this off. So it will have wires all over the place. It will have axles on it, and we will be able to, I will really be able to show you the differential next week. Last week I showed you by rotating these, and you weren't really able to see much. So what I'll do, whereas I put the masking tape on this, so you could see the masking tape go round, what I'll do is I'll stick some masking tape on the axles, and you'll be able to see the masking tape go around on the axles. So next week I think will be the best show so far, but it's a little bit like when we did the Routemaster. We were making very, very small steps, and then all of a sudden over a course of 2 weeks we put chassis on, and it's suddenly gone from this to this.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's going to happen next week with the tractor. So
yeah, absolutely.
Don't forget to drop me a message if you want me to do some 3D printing for you. I've now worked out a way that I can get that done. By coordinating your prints properly, you can get far more done more quickly.
Yeah.
The biggest trick for me really is putting like a 6 to 8 hour print on when I come home from work, so that it's finished overnight. And then because my shifts are long, I want to try and get sort of a 15-hour print on while I'm at work. So get my long prints done during the day and my not so long. And then I've got a few prints that are like an hour or two long. And what I was doing the other day Thursday, I had a day off. So what I was doing was I was chucking all the small prints on during the day, because I'm home there's no point me doing a 1 hour print when I'm out of the house for 16 hours. So drop me a message on Facebook if you want to take part in this. You will still have to pay the electronics. You will pay for the cost of the filament. Either I can buy the filament for you and charge you by the cost of the part, or you can buy me filament and I will, you can't see it here, but for Fleetwood and Adrian, I'll show you one of the boxes. So this is a roll of black, and you can see there I put a little name on it, so I know not to use that for myself. And I've done the same with Fleetwood's filament. So yeah, drop us a message if you want anything. I can look at doing that. It will cost you more to have it done by me, because you're going to end up paying the postage. But you still need to get your own electronics. So with that, we've got Dave Says on tomorrow, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm on tomorrow night, 8 o'clock tomorrow night on my channel.
Lovely. Monday is Chris Campling Day. I don't know if you're still watching Chris Campling. Have you got a Terminator, or are you doing something?
I think he said he's doing X-Ring, didn't he?
Okay, brilliant. So I'll look forward to seeing that then. Tuesday night is Chris Davies.
Yeah.
Chris Davis, yeah.
Yep. And Wednesday will be Routemaster.
Routemaster, yeah. So are you here this week, Penny?
I'm here this week. This is my 5 a.m. spare week.
Yeah.
So Wednesday, I pretty much jammed it into them that I will be going home. I do a show at 8 o'clock. They do push me a little bit longer on a Tuesday and a Thursday.
Yeah.
But if I get home by sort of 7-8ish on a Wednesday, I'm happy enough.
Yeah.
So next week, starting tomorrow, week beginning tomorrow, is my last week before I have a week off.
All right.
So yeah, and that's right. I'll always keep you updated.
Yeah.
So for me personally, I've got next Wednesday, which is Route Master. I'm sure I'm doing. I can't remember if Adrian's back. I'm pretty sure Adrian said he's away for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah.
So he won't be doing a stream on Friday. So that means the next time you will guarantee to see me will be next Wednesday and next Saturday.
Yeah.
Right. So I'll know Fleetwood's desperate to go because of meds, so I'll let Fleetwood say goodbyes first.
See you later, guys, and I'll see you one of these streams. I can't remember when and where, but I'll be back soon.
Whenever the next stream is you involved in.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah, I can't remember. If you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
I've got to go. So take care, all, and I'll see you soon.
All right.
All right.
Good
Take care. Thanks
Good
ever
night.
so much for your help, Fleetwood. And Dave, say.
Right, I'm going to go too. So, goodbye, all. Thanks for joining us, and be sure to be here next week, next Saturday at 8 o'clock.
Fantastic. Always a pleasure, Dave. And I will say goodbye as well. So thank you very much for everybody. And thank you, Makit, for popping in. We really do appreciate it. I'm glad you're happy with the build, actually. The last thing I'd want to do is to destroy your little baby. But yeah, so with that, I will say goodbye, and I will see you at least next Wednesday and Saturday. Take care. Bye-bye.